No. All right. I'm gonna trade you 2 sheep for that wood. Tell me, honey, does that sound good? 'Cause all I really wanna do is take away longest road from you, yeah. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Hey folks, Elias here. Welcome to Tabletop Sessions podcast. This is a supplement to episode 3, so if you haven't listened to that, go ahead and give that a listen before moving on to this. We felt like there were too many games played at Essen to talk about in one episode without overwhelming our listeners. But we also wanted to make sure that you got this material in a timely amount of time after the show. So for those of you who want all the juicy gaming details from our Essen Spiel trip, this supplement is for you. Byron is not going to be able to join us. So all the stuff that he wanted to talk about at Essen, that happened at Essen, he's going to hold on to those and talk about them over the next few episodes. So it's just going to be me, Ipo, and Dima, because just like when I'm sleeping at night, I'm never truly alone. The peanut gallery is always here. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Guten Tag.
Well, one of the games we got to play that was a super hot game was Railroad Inc. This is a game by Horrible Games, designed by Hjalmar Hach and Lorenzo Silva. Basically, it's a roll and write game.
Who's the first designer, sorry?
Hjalmar Hach.
Why would
What's his
anyone
name?
call themselves Horrible Games?
It's great, actually, because every time I can't forget the name. It's great. But basically, you're rolling dice all for everybody, and then on the dice faces you have different roads and train systems, and you're drawing those into little squares. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but basically you're trying to connect as many. There's a bunch of exits around the perimeter.
Okay.
You're trying to connect all of those together, as many of those together as possible, in as few systems as possible. So you can have small ones that are just connecting 2 or 3, but you get a lot more points per exit if you can have one that connects like 8 of them, right?
Okay.
And there's a bunch of other things, score you points depending on where it is. But the really clever bit about this game is there's actually 2 versions. There's a blue version and a red version. And the base game is identical in both, and they both play 4 players. But the blue version adds the expansions of rivers and lakes, and the red version adds the expansions of meteors and some horrible stuff. So if you get both of them, you can play either expansion, and you can play up to 8 players. So it's pretty cool game. I liked it. I enjoyed it. What I really liked about it, Ipo, I don't know if I liked one thing about it that was really good. It's those special ones that you can use that are at the top of the board, where you can only use like a couple of them for the whole game. Like when you use those is critical to doing well in the game.
The special abilities.
Yeah, they're not special abilities. They're like special die faces that are always available to you that you can use. I really liked that part. Other than that, there's not a lot I loved about the game. I liked building the roads, but there are other games I'd rather play.
It seems very
do that.
simple.
Well, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Maybe I like it more because he taught us the base game without the expansion.
Yeah, it's very simple because it's kind of abstract.
Yeah.
I didn't like the dice. It's a roll and write, which is a difficult category in any way.
Yeah, but there's a lot of roll and writes I do like. That's the problem.
That was what I was going to say, that I preferred Welcome to in this category from Essen 2018, that we had a lot of fun playing.
Yeah. No, it was a good time, man. It was fun because at the end of it, I was like, look, I didn't win, but I definitely have the prettiest one. And then Ipo was like, no, you don't. I have the best one. So I literally called out the people playing next to us. I was like, excuse me. Yeah. Which one's prettier?
And which one did they vote
Mine.
Yeah, it was a polite lady there that
She was so awkward too.
she wouldn't like to feel his feelings, to hurt his feelings.
To
sorry.
feel my
To
feelings.
hurt
I'm
his
feeling all these feelings.
Okay, so Railroad Inc., would you recommend it, and to who?
I would actually recommend it,
I wouldn't.
but not for me.
To what kind of players?
I'd recommend it to the kind of player that really likes
True.
lighter games.
Yeah.
If you like lighter
Yeah.
games, if you're a fan of like your favorite worker placement is Lords of Waterdeep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would 100% recommend Railroad Ink.
It's funny you said lighter because I was thinking that the light in that hall was not good. I mean,
Ba-dum.
it was really. I think the places there, the booths in that hall, were like the cheapest ones. I mean, it was in the back of the center, and the light was not very good. It felt
What's funny is it had a roof. It had like we were under
there was
these.
something wrong, right?
We were under these like large canopy umbrellas in their booth, which is hilarious because we're indoors.
But in case it rains outside, I don't know.
In case there's a leak in the roof. Yeah, no,
Okay.
it was good though. It was
So
good.
what else did you guys try?
We tried one cooperative game, Terra,
Okay.
which comes from the Inside the Box board games.
Okay.
The designer is Tim Pinter.
What's his name?
Tim.
Checkmate.
So it's 1 to 6 players, and players. It's a terrifying cave escape. Players take the role of amateur cavers attempting to escape an unexplored network of subterranean tunnels before the lights flicker out of the darker things beneath the earth.
You know what
Catch
it
up to them.
reminds me of? What was that game we played where I was the goblins, where I'm trying to escape the cave and you're trying to crash it
Vast.
in? Yeah, Vast.
It looks like Vast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
reminded
escaping
me.
a cave on the tiles.
You know, it reminded me the case with the kids in the Thailand
Oh, no.
cave.
Oh no.
Yes, I mean, I like that because it feels like the guys that are trying to help these kids.
I feel
So-
like
so-
you're avoiding the question of what did you think about the game?
So I was trying to help these my fellow gamers. I mean, all the others were trying to find the exit. I was out waiting for them.
You came back in.
I came. That's true. I came back in, and then we lost altogether.
So it's a co-op, but you guys can do different things and go off on your own.
It's like pandemic.
routes?
In every turn you can take a number of actions, and at the same time it's like a dungeon crawl where you should find your way out,
Okay.
and several things can happen to you.
And as usual, you were doing your own thing and you figured out a way out by yourself.
No, he just took all the tiles until he got to the end. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typical Ipo and
and he was all the way by himself somewhere.
Yeah.
The majority were me and Byron next to each other, but he didn't come hang out with us. So,
No, actually, you need to split. I think in this game,
for sure.
that's the
But
best.
then AK got stuck by himself.
Yeah.
So if one of you's left behind, you guys
You
all
all
lose.
lose, yeah. Here's okay. Let me say something. The
it's
game
interesting,
the
eh?
game is really pretty.
Mhm.
First of all, you said it looks like Vast. It doesn't. In real life, it's
Mhm.
beautiful. The blues are super dark blues.
Mhm.
The phosphorescent greens are super phosphorescent, and it's actually a glow in the dark.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really.
wow.
I mean,
It's really gorgeous. But and go on our Instagram to get pictures because they had a little dark tent that they shone UV lights on it. It was beautiful. I like nothing about this game other than that. Like AK bought it and all the expansions. I didn't like it. Like it combines the worst elements of Carcassonne and Pandemic. So the worst elements and none of the best.
What's the worst
elements.
element of Carcassonne?
So I'll tell you. So the best element of the parts I like about Pandemic is after you figure out like the initial randomness, you can sort of predict based on the deck where things are going to happen, and you can make decisions based on that. But that initial thing, that's all that happens in this one. You don't know where things are going to show up. You don't know where things are going to explode. And once they are, there's nothing you can do to get away. Like when that monster woke up, there was nothing we could do to get away. Nothing. Like we were completely stuck with that monster.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure there's a way,
Yeah.
but it's very luck dependent. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You're more of a strategic
I'm more of a
player,
strategic
and
guy. I don't
AK
like how
loves
luck based in it.
luck-based games.
So I didn't like that element of it. And what I mean by the worst elements of Carcassonne is you don't have like in Carcassonne. The good part is how do you strategically place this tile,
Mhm.
right? To
100%, yeah.
finish a field to do this. With this one, you're connecting it like the middle to the middle. That's it. There's no different kinds of territories that need to combine. It's walls to walls, path to path.
Yeah.
So you must connect it to the place next to you.
Yeah, you don't have
So it's more like vast than Carcassonne,
yeah.
which isn't exactly creative. So for me, that is the extent of what I liked in the game, is the way it looked.
The funny thing is that I totally agree with you on what you said, but at the same time, I enjoyed the game.
I had a terrible time.
So I want to play it again.
Well,
AK
AK
bought
has
it with all the
it.
expansions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to understand what I liked in the game. I think,
We laughed a lot, but it was more like us having a good time.
but the experience was good. I mean, if you take it for what it is, which
If
is
you're
a,
not in the mood
which is
to
a light
play
game,
serious
yes, exactly.
game.
I guess there's other light games I'd rather play.
Okay.
You know,
Fair enough.
it didn't feel enjoyable to me because I felt like whatever I drew, that's what's happening. Because you don't. It's not like you pick a couple tiles and decide which one. You pick the top tile and that's what's happening. to
yeah.
you.
In
So
general, you hate games.
But,
like,
I
you hate
can-
that aspect
I like
of
to be
games.
presented with a situation and that like a luck situation,
have
and then
options.
given the ability to get out of it or work my way out of it. I don't like that. I've decided I'm going to take an action and I draw. It could be good, it could be bad. Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I can see myself playing it with my daughters.
Well, that might be
Maybe
it
more
too.
like a
Yeah,
family game.
that might
Yeah.
be it too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on the topic of inside the box games, I don't know. I don't like to say this, but this is the second game from them I tried, and these two were like my least favorite games of the convention. I got to say they were great people, and probably my favorite demoers, and the quality of their games is amazing, and they were super friendly and super nice, and I want to hang out with them, and I want to find a game, but I just think they make games for people that like lighter, more random games,
Mhm.
because they had a game called NewSpeak.
I think nobody demoed this game for us. NewSpeak.
No, someone taught us the game.
I don't remember.
The gentleman came, he stood next to us, he taught us the game. So NewSpeak is a social deduction game. It's a game I almost backed on Kickstarter because I love the concept. But basically the idea, it's designed by Anthony Halgego, Fiona Jackson, and Mark Stockton Pitt,
Mhm.
which
Is it the
sounds like the
fluorescent
baby
pink
of
one?
Stockton and Brad Pitt.
What's the name of the first designer?
Go away. Which is his name, Halgego. So, Halgego, I don't know. Okay. So the point is, go away. The point is, the concept is amazing. The concept is you're a bunch of like hackers, right?
Mhm.
And you're trying to come up with a new way of talking so that the government can't figure out where you're planning on
Oh.
meeting. So there's a bunch of
Okay.
locations on the board, right? And you want to pick one of those locations. So let's say number 9 or number 4 or whatever it is. And then you also have a card that you pull out, and that card tells you like it basically tells you, what does it tell you, people?
I only remember that it's a game in the tradition of Spyfall. So you can try to communicate with each other.
No, I
without the other
understand,
player.
but the card basically tells you like which set of words you can use, right?
Okay.
So like there's words in one column and then what they mean in another column. So you're trying
Oh.
to, as the government, you're trying to listen to figure out which column they're using, right?
I see.
And each location has its own.
Each location has its own code words, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So what I want to say about this game is it's half a game. We both tried, me and Ipo were on one team, Bar and Ike on the other team, and we both got to basically be the hackers and both got to be the government. When we were the hackers, it was fun because you're trying to make words and then we use some words that we both know mean nothing. But if we really stress on it,
Yeah.
they'll think we're really stressing on something. So they'll go to another word.
Yeah.
That was fun, trying to come up with conversation on the
Yeah.
spot. But for the government, it's not a logical deduction game. It's a
Mhm.
pure guessing game. Like,
Okay.
there's nothing to it. You're like, oh, I don't know. Like, what? And we tried really hard. Like,
Oh, maybe you're too hard on this. I mean, there's something you can try, but it was too hard. I mean,
It was
we didn't
impossible.
have the time to. It was.
it's also timed. That's the thing.
Oh.
Maybe that would help. Maybe if you had more time, maybe if it was like a question answer thing, so you could sort of guide them, and they had to be honest in their answers using the right words or whatever, that might be
So
better.
you felt like there was something missing.
I felt like there was something missing, some form of structure that would give the government more of a chance to understand what the heck is happening.
more meaningful gameplay for
Exactly.
the government. Yeah.
So unfortunately, NewSpeak not for me, but with a few tweaks, I love the idea. I love the idea of conversational games, and I love the idea of language changing. So anything they can do to make it better, I'm all for it. But as it is right now, it's not for me.
Okay.
Again, I totally agree with Elias. I just want to say that whatever we say in this episode, it's based on just one play.
True.
Okay.
And in a crowded area. So
Yeah.
this is convention
And it
environment.
might not be till the end of the game, right? Like you might even play like one, or
we
you played most
we finished
games.
every game.
Oh,
till the
wow.
end. Yeah, we
Great.
were lucky. Actually, when we played the estates, which we talked about in the main episode, we had the best guy, the guy who was making up the rules as we played. He's so funny. At the end, he goes, "Wait, hold on, stay there." He goes inside and he brings out 4 baggies of green meeples. He hands one to each of us and he goes, "Since you guys are the first ones to finish the game today, something for you." And I'm like, this is so random. Like, I don't know what to do with a bag of green meatballs.
And what
Yeah.
happened to the other guys? Why
I
didn't
was-
they finish the game?
I don't know. It's a 45-minute game. Like, I
There
don't
was
know.
something
Maybe
wrong
they
in that
figured
book.
out
Maybe
that
the way the-
something was wrong with the rules.
Exactly. Or maybe this guy's rules make the game faster.
Never thought of this.
All right.
So what else did you guys play?
So we played also Downforce.
I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, so we had a great time. it's a game from Justin Jacobsen, Wolfgang Kramer, and Rob Davio.
Also co-op?
For
No.
for anybody that doesn't know Rob, Rob is the designer of Pandemic Legacy.
Oh.
Actually, he's the designer of the Legacy system.
Yeah, Risk Legacy. Also, yeah.
Pandemic Legacy is Matt Leacock and Rob Davia.
So
So
he-
the designer of Pandemic and the designer of the Legacy system.
So the guy is the
Okay.
legacy himself. He's the legend.
And Wolfgang Kramer is a legendary designer, like Tikal, all those Mexica,
Yeah.
all these really good games.
So it's like Messi and Ronaldo in the same team.
Basically, it's more like Beckenbauer and Ronaldo in the same team.
So the game is really beautiful. It's a racing game.
Because, sorry, I do want to point out that this game is a restoration game. It's from the game's Restoration Games. They're taking older titles and modernizing them
Okay.
to work within the current board game world. So I believe Wolfgang Kramer is the original designer, and Rob Daviau is
Probably, exactly.
probably one that
yes.
modernized.
Because this
the
is
game.
literally a racetrack and colored cars.
Yes.
Exactly. So it's a racing game with elements of bidding
Okay.
that spice it up. It's a
Spicy.
it's a very light game.
Okay.
It's very fun. You're using your cards to move your car, but at the same time, if you see your card has a movement for several different colors of cars.
Oh.
So by moving your car, you are also moving other cars.
Okay.
So you need to pick the right card at the right moment
Mhm.
in order to get the best benefit from it.
Okay.
And at the same time, it has an interesting bidding mechanism where you bid in the beginning, and also in the first third and the second third of the game, where you have more information on who's
What
going
are-
to finish first.
What are you bidding for? Cards that you can play?
You're bidding on the who's going to finish first, and you're trying to get the
Oh.
most money.
Okay.
You're not winning by finishing first. You're, of course, you're getting some money by finishing first, but you are winning by getting the most money in the end of the race.
Okay.
So it was really well balanced. It's not my kind of game because it's really light game.
You still put GMT's Grand Prix on a pedestal?
I was gonna say it looks a lot like Grand
yes.
Prix. Just looks.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
play.
very hard to have a racing game which is heavy, right?
Yeah.
How can you make a heavy race game?
I mean, Grand Prix is
Mhm.
pretty heavy. It's not heavy in terms of like
Mm.
like strategy, but there's a lot of little things.
Yeah,
in terms
there's
of
a
the
lot
tires
going
and-
on.
Yes.
Yeah, that you have to consider and
True.
that affect your
But it's
Race.
GMT, so
So it's not in that level.
Okay.
it reminds me of Flamme Rouge, but like Flamme Rouge, you're just trying to win the race.
So would you recommend it, and to who?
I would totally recommend it to anybody that likes light games, anybody that likes racing, bidding, and
Do you feel like it's
families.
luck based, like based on your hand? That's how. That's like gonna contribute towards the outcome, or your the play like
on a certain
your
extent,
strategy
yes,
and.
your hand is affecting the outcome, but at the same time, when you're drafting the cards in the beginning,
Mhm.
you have the chance to buy a car. So you see your cards, and then you say, "Okay, I'm gonna buy the blue car,"
Oh.
and there is
okay.
an auction.
Okay.
So other people can
nice.
also buy it. So it's really
Actually,
well
you're
done.
selling me on that. Like that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Guys, I'm telling you, the designers are legend. It's the design is
I know,
flawless.
but like
It's the best
that's
thing.
not enough for me. Like for example, Wolfgang Kramer, great designer, Mexico, great game, still traded it because there wasn't enough depth for me. Or like Rob Davia, I'm not a fan of Pandemic Legacy.
It's a family game. Yeah, I don't recommend it for
Yeah, but like
for
just
heavy
to
board
put
gamers.
people like in perspective. We have out of
It
like
feels a little like Camel Up in the sense that you don't care who's
Exactly.
winning the race.
Exactly.
Yeah, but because I think right now Camel Up might be my favorite race game, which is really
Yeah.
weird. But I really want to
That's
try
fun.
Flamme Rouge. I think that one
Mhm.
might pop. it,
It's
so.
really like Camel Up. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, it feels like Camel Up.
All right.
But just to put people in perspective, we own about what 100 games.
No, about almost 200 now. About 180. Yeah.
And how many GMT games do we have? Or like
30.
heavy games?
Yeah, heavy games are probably
So,
80% of the collection.
Yeah.
I have like 3 beginner games. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so don't listen to a guy with 30
Yeah,
GMT games.
I'm not the right person to speak.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about a light game that I loved, guys.
Whoa.
Although it's a party game, so it doesn't count. But it's called
Okay.
Trapwords.
Okay.
It's by Czech Games. And it's by, oh goodness, Jan Brezina, Martin Hrabalik, and Michael Pozarek.
Okay, we'll
Okay,
take it.
And it's not by Vlada Chvatil, but he did walk by next to us when we were playing it.
Really?
And I pointed him out. I was like, it's Vlada. It's Vlada. And then like I entered like panic mode again. Apparently I'm really bad because he's probably my favorite designer.
With board game celebrities.
Yeah, I just started panicking. And all of a sudden we stopped doing really well on our team. We still won in the end, but mostly because of the incompetence of the other team. So Dima,
I'm loving the pieces.
as a
Yeah.
huge fan of Taboo,
Yeah.
this is the game I recommend for you to replace Taboo.
I'm intrigued. Go.
So what you're seeing, these pictures, you said gorgeous pieces,
yeah.
is just the world's fanciest scoreboard.
Okay.
Okay? So it's a score track where you're moving up towards a boss to fight at the end.
Okay.
Okay. But what's interesting is there's a number on each one. That number is the number of trap words your opponent can make for you. So every turn,
Oh, it
you
gets
both
harder.
know the word that your opponents are going to try to communicate. So, like,
Mhm.
I know you're going to try to communicate the word orange,
Mhm.
and they know that our team's going to try to communicate the word avalanche. And I know it's going to be you talking on your team, and you know it's going to be me talking on my team. So you get to pick a certain number of trap words that if I say those while trying to describe them,
Mhm.
you got to go,
Mhm.
like in Taboo, and tell me, all right, that's it. You don't get to progress. But if I go through without saying those words and they manage to guess it, we do progress. But
That
as you go up the
sounds
score
so
track,
cool.
the
Mhm.
number that's higher means your opponent can make more and more trap words
Yeah.
for you. So it starts off, they can only pick like 2 or 3 trap words, but in the end, they're picking 6 or 7 trap words. So it gets super hard
How
to
many
get around.
rounds are there?
Well, you get to the end. I think there were like 6 rounds. I can't
Okay.
remember.
Okay.
And depending on the boss you're playing, there's a different special ability in the last one. Like
Very
in
cool.
ours, it was a dragon, and it was something like, we only get like 3 guesses or something. I can't remember what it was, but so you can't just keep yelling out things, right?
Did anyone in our group buy it?
2 or 3 people. I know. Byron bought it. AK bought it. I think Eugenio might have bought
Need
it.
to play it.
I didn't buy it because
Yes.
AK bought it, but I loved it.
You
Because
know,
I haven't let him get rid of taboos.
Yeah, no, this is
Yeah.
better. And I'll tell you why it's better. Because it's the mental games, right?
Yeah.
So my word for you is avalanche. Okay, I know you're going to say avalanche. Now, the most obvious things are what? Mountain, snow, I don't know what.
Mhm.
ski.
Ski, yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to write any of those. I'm gonna write,
Like secondary words.
like things that
because,
you're
Yeah.
into, right?
I'm
So
gonna avoid.
let's say I'm into Lord of the Rings and you're doing it for me. You might write something about the past of where Sauron dropped the avalanche on top of the Fellowship, stuff like that. You might write words relating to that, and then why is that clever? Because now you've managed to get more words that they can't say. Because nobody's going to be stupid enough to risk saying mountain on avalanche
Yeah.
and getting buzzed.
Yeah.
Because people will kill him, his team will crucify him. So you've automatically the person's never going to try
Yeah,
that.
it's like
So
saying
you've-
fruit when the word
exactly.
is orange.
I mean, but they could try it and they might get buzzed. Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's really clever. So you got to go, okay, what are they likely to talk about?
and is it timed?
It's
Yes.
it's timed, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
It's like
what
taboo.
what I really liked also was for example, AK had to do it, and I think it was Toad. Okay, a normal person maybe I would have gone for frogs or something like that, right?
You went for Mario?
No, I didn't. I thought about Mario. We did have that in there, but I know AK. AK loves Halloween stuff. He loves dark stuff. So I went for Toadstool, witches stuff, and sure enough, we
Ah.
got him on Wart. Right?
Oh my god.
Which is the best word because you got to think, because someone's going to be like,
No way.
I'm going to go my unique way. They definitely
Yeah.
didn't think of that.
Yeah, yeah,
But sometimes
yeah,
you
yeah.
can go to, it's
If
such
you know
a
the
good
person well
game.
enough.
It's such a good game. It's
Yeah.
taboo where you get to write the card customized for the other person.
That's amazing.
It's brilliant. And I really had a good time, even though Ipo yelled at some people in Cameroon.
I really think
Very excited.
it's the best version of Taboo so far
Agreed.
compared to what Monica's.
I don't
You
think Monica's
guys-
is like taboo.
Yeah.
I
so.
need to play this game.
To be honest, I didn't want to like this game because I have read the description of this game before the Essen Spiel. And I was thinking, okay, it's Vlada, but come on,
It's not Vlada.
It's not?
It's his company
Oh.
publishing, but he's not the designer.
So I was thinking, okay, it's just another Taboo. Come on, okay, how different could it be? But it's amazing. It's really great.
It's so
Yeah,
fun.
when Elias came home and he's like, I found a better version of Taboo. I was like, no, there's no better version.
So in my top 9 most anticipated games, I get the Crypto,
Okay.
which I didn't try yet, but I don't think it's better than Trapwords. Let's see.
Well, you have the crypto, so we'll
Yeah.
find out soon.
Exactly, we're gonna try it.
Anyway, I think that's more like code names.
Which one
You
is
know
the
what I
one
mean?
that Lena's not letting you guys play without us?
The Awakening.
Oh.
We'll talk about that later.
So one game that I played without the other gang from the tabletop sessions was Vektorace from Kalidos Games. It's an Italian company with the designers are Spartaco Albertavelli and Davide Geffi. It's a 4-player game, and the amazing thing about this game is that there's no board.
Okay.
They are using the octagon system.
I hate you so much.
That's what it was sold to me. When I
And
read about the octagon system, I was thinking, okay, I need to know what's the octagon system.
The engineer in Ipo came out.
Okay, so it's a race game, and the cars are really 3D cardboards on octagons.
We all know how much you like cardboard.
But it's 3D card.
Yeah, it's 3D cars on
Octagon
octagons.
3D card.
So you just need a surface to place these octagons, and
Do you need a surface to play everything? I don't know. Okay.
Not Palm Island.
you don't need the board.
Okay.
You don't need the
Oh,
table.
okay,
You can do it
okay.
on the floor. And
Do any game on the
you
floor.
you can make your own racetrack in your house. So you can race from your kitchen to your bedroom. Seriously, I mean, and you are using these ready cut gears, which are
Okay.
cut cardboard,
Okay.
and these are the gears.
They look like tools.
Exactly. So you are attaching the gear to your
One side
octagon
of the
car.
octagon.
and in the other end of the gear, you're placing your car.
I hate you so much. You keep saying that this is unique. This is just X-Wing. They just stole the X-Wing model.
I
I
have never
was
played
just
that game.
gonna say it looks
a lot like
a lot like X-Wing.
Except
Especially with the numbers on the ruler.
except instead of making the templates curve like an X-Wing,
They made them
they made it an octagon.
octagons.
So depending on which section of the octagon you stick it on, it goes in a different angle. It's just X-Wing without combat.
So I've never played X-Wing, but it looks like this X-Wing guys copied.
It's a Star Wars theme version of this
Oh,
game.
Vektorace. So X-Wing, the Star Wars version of Vektorace.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that nonsense.
So
Enough of that nonsense. Let's move on to something good.
yeah, but I want to say that I just want to say that it felt too basic for an adult game, but at the same time too complicated for a children game. So I don't know in what category should I place it.
Really stupid adult.
Like your 8-year-old girl, you feel like it's too complicated?
It is, yes.
It's a bit.
It's
too okay.
the rules are too complicated for the girls, and again too basic for something deeper.
And she plays like 7.
Seven
Seven
Wonders
Wonders,
duel.
yeah,
She's
duel.
clever. Speaking of, terrible games, this is not a terrible game. This is a great game. We got to play Welcome to by Blue Cocker Games, designed by Benoit Turpin. Basically, it's another roll and write, like Railroad Inc., but this one's really good. Ipo bought it without trying it, and we
What?
played it, me, Ipo, and AK, at the
Sabina Gökçen.
So-
the cafe in the airport in Istanbul.
He
It
bought
wa-
it based on your enthusiasm?
No, like the reviews have been quite good.
Okay.
Shut Up and Sit Down especially sort of sold me.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was listening to it. It's a roll and write, but without dice. So
Mhm.
the roll section is instead replaced with 3 decks of cards, which is 1 deck of cards that you split into 3. And basically, every turn, you turn over 1 card. So you're exposing on each row of cards, which there are 3 of, as I said, a number, and the back of another card, which is one of like 7 icons or 6 icons. And that means you got to pick one of the 3 rows. So one of the number plus icon combinations. And you have to write the number and then use that icon to do that special ability. And it's really clever. And it takes away a lot of that luck factor from rolling the dice, because you can see in the top corner of the card, the number, let's say you pick that a 7, right? That row with a 7. You can see in the top corner, the back of this card, they've drawn what it is on the front of it. So you know that the next turn there's going to be a fence action coming up. So you know sort of what's coming up and you can make plans. You don't know the number, so it leaves that random factor, but you know sort of what's coming up. I also like the fact that you can take a lot of hits in order to compensate for bad things. So you can intentionally take these things that give you negative points, but they compensate for bad arrays of cards that are in front of you.
Okay.
And the theme is you're designing like a suburb, all these houses and pools and roads and walls. And all in all, I really like it. Like, I think it might be my favorite roll and write. And this is coming early, but I really like that you could play with a room full of people. You just need those 3 cards and everyone gets a piece of paper. I really like, and I like that it's low complexity. I think it's lower complexity in terms of rules than Railroad Inc., but it's more depth and strategy than Railroad Inc. That's what I would say.
It's well designed. And,
Well designed, yeah.
And really beautiful at the same time.
Yeah. My favorite strategy game in terms of roll and writes is still Guns Schon Clever. But that's not a game I would teach to a room full of people. I like to play that one player or 2 players max. So this is definitely the roll and write I would teach people. Because really, it's a huge compliment to call something both easier to teach and more depth and strategy.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's simpler, but also more intriguing and engaging. And that's 2 things it has for me over Railroad Inc. So while Railroad Inc. is probably the better looking of the 2, it's definitely the better looking of the 2. I would still recommend Welcome to over that.
Okay.
And
Better looking than Railroad Inc.?
no, Railroad Inc. is better looking for sure.
No.
Yeah, way better.
No way.
Way better looking.
No way.
Way better. Dima, we're gonna have this conversation again, like we just did. But what I want to show
I
you,
would say if you're into people scribbling railroads,
look at this.
then
That's the cover.
Railroad
Dima,
Inc.
look at
That's
this.
just the cover.
Dima.
looks nicer.
No.
No.
Yeah, look at this.
Okay, look at it.
You have to like.
Look where you write. Yes, this
It's
is
gorgeous.
this is one color.
I'm not talking
I'm
about
gonna
your
have to disagree with you, Elias.
bullshit. You're a liar.
The box looks great,
exactly.
at
Yeah.
but then
this.
the board is.
The boards show suburbs that if you connect all the 4 boards together, they make one
Exactly.
giant
Yeah,
suburb.
but by default, it has to be like faded or just not
Look at it.
very congested because you have to draw on it, right?
It's
So
ugly.
the other board,
It's only ugly because of how ugly people draw their railroads
exactly.
on it.
Look
It
at
look-
welcome to.
Exactly.
yeah, but if you draw well, it's fine.
No, but like if you don't draw on it, it's just a grid.
If you draw
So,
well, yeah.
No.
All right,
No,
I
no,
see the flaw of my argument.
I have to agree with Elias. If you draw well, yeah, it could be
Next.
amazing.
But look at Welcome to has no art.
Yeah, but if you're
That's why it's
comparing it to
beautiful.
we're not saying it has amazing art. We're just if you're comparing it to Railroad Ink.
Yeah, I am straight up comparing
Then-
Railroad Ink, and I'm telling you Railroad Ink is
no.
better looking. Look, Dima,
No.
look at the cover of Welcome to.
Wow.
In a bad way. I was-
Wow.
Shut up.
This is beautiful. This is like,
Like,
a
Motel
Advertisement
All right,
from
style,
the
I'm not gonna have
60s.
this argument.
60s
I
ads.
think Railroad Ink is a way better looking game, but Welcome to has. I gave it all the compliments. What
two
more do you
against
want
one.
from me?
We
you said you
win.
like Food
Yes,
Chain
but you're-
Magnate because it's like an advertisement from the
Guys.
60s. And
True,
this is
but this
exactly...
doesn't have the same feel.
Are we gonna talk about the mind now?
Okay.
We could.
Are we?
Okay, fellow
Are we?
listeners, please go to Reddit
How we had
and
our
tell us
surprise
Which
win.
looks better, Welcome to or Railroad Ink? And
Yeah.
the correct answer is Railroad Ink.
if you are the lady from the next to us in the Railroad Ink table.
Yeah, we
Please
need your
don't-
opinion again.
Please don't support Elias again.
Oh, man.
Okay, guys, but let's talk about
winner?
The winner.
The winner of Essen?
The winner of Essen.
Of all the Essen.
The game that everybody loves to hate. Is it really a game? It's The Mind
The mind.
Wow.
by Wolfgang Warsch and NSV. NSV is the company, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the man Dima is you have played that.
Yeah, we won the game.
Okay, here's the
Together.
thing.
We destroyed the game.
I got to tell you how we ended up playing the mind. Okay, we're sitting after day 1 of Essen, exhausted, all on the couch, and Dima goes, "Have you? Ipo goes, have you heard of this game, The Mind?" I'm like, "Of course I have." And he goes, "Do you think that's a game?" And I was like, "Kind of. I don't know. I haven't played it, but in theory, it sounds like it's just a lot of staring at each other more than anything."
May I interrupt just for a second? That you need to know the whole atmosphere. The background was that we had the fridge full of beers, so it's in Germany, so we're drinking beers and discussing these deep things.
So he looks at me and goes, "All right, we can try it." We pull out a deck of cards, and he goes, "All right, so it goes, ace to king of hearts, then ace to king of clubs, whatever." Gives me a sequence, and we play it for like 2 rounds, and we're like, "This is awful." And then we enter a huge other argument where I'm saying that it's not a fair comparison because we're using a deck of cards. And he's like, "It's the same thing." And I was like, "No, because instinctively, in a second, I can tell you the difference between 42 and 73, but I can't tell you the difference between 4 of hearts and king of clubs."
I think you have to clarify that the game is about stacking cards in numerical order.
From lowest to highest
Oh,
without
yeah.
speaking to each
Thank you,
other
Dima,
and
correct.
cooperatively
Exactly.
doing it. If you don't know the mind, look it up. There's like 2 rules. You can
Yeah.
figure it out. So the point
Whoa.
is, we had a huge argument about it. Not an argument. We talked about it.
So Elias decided to
So then the
to
next
solve
day-
the argument by buying the game.
I try to solve the argument the way I usually do by throwing money at it. I was walking. I wanted to buy a copy of Decrypto for Ipo to thank him for driving us there, and he keeps laughing.
Thank you, Elias.
And while I was paying for it, I saw a copy of The Mind for like €8. I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
I'm gonna get that."
8?
Yeah, it was
That's
€8.
it?
Yeah, or €10. something like that.
Damn.
So I picked it up for like €10.
Well priced game.
I came back that night. I was like, "Guys, I got us a surprise." Boom! I pulled it out. All right. So we play it. We're drinking beers, eating sausage and chips
6
and stuff.
adults.
Yeah, we played it with 6, which you're not supposed to. We put on like spaghetti western music, like
For no reason.
Yeah. The good, the bad, and the ugly, where it focuses on their eyes.
Oh, yes.
Because you're like staring at each other's eyes. And we play the game the first time and we lose quickly and we're like, oh, this is a stupid game. Let's play again. Right away, we grab the deck, play it again. That was so dumb. Let's play it again. And then we ended up playing it like 9 times back to back.
Exactly. Yeah.
After that, the next day, we were 4 of us. It was me, it was me, Byron,
Hamad.
and Ipo. And we were sitting together. The other 2 were somewhere else in the house, in the apartment. And we were like, let's play the mind. And again, just back to back, round after round after round. And then the same thing happened last week when we played it with Ipo and his wife, me and you, Dima. We were like, we'll just play it for like 10 minutes. But Ipo told us in the beginning of the night, if we start with the mind, we're not going to play anything else.
Yeah.
And we ended up playing
Well
the mind
done,
for
Ipo.
like 2 hours. So it's, as I always say, it's both at the same time a 1 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10. So I don't know if it's the worst game ever or the best game
I
ever.
agree.
I can't figure
We played
it
it so many times, and in the end, I just decided that after that round, we were gonna stop,
For me, it's,
no matter what.
for
Otherwise,
me,
we'd play forever.
for me, guys, it's really a bad game. Please stay away from it.
No
It's like
way.
heroin. It's very,
like heroin.
It's very addictive.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. But it's really not a good game. Okay, you're laughing, right? You're laughing at it. You're enjoying playing it. But it's drugs. Don't go there.
I enjoy drugs too.
All we can say is
It can
you
ruin
have
your
to
life.
try it to understand what we're saying. It's €8, 10 euros.
It's like 10 euros. I think you
Yeah.
probably get a copy for
It's
10 euros.
definitely worth the 1,000 hours you're gonna spend.
It's very
getting
dangerous
addicted to
because
it.
it's cheap drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheap drugs. It's like
You just have to
crack.
pay
It's like
for
crack.
it.
Stay away from that crack.
you have to
Stay
pay
out
for
of
it
that
once.
All right. Well, the day before the last day, so the penultimate day of the convention, me and Ipo walked off for a bit. The others were walking around, and we went to play a game called This War of Mine, which is from Awaken Realms, designed by Vektorace, who's the designer of Hiroshima Hex and a bunch of other games I like,
Nice.
and Jakub Brudowski. And
What is that letter? Yeah,
Jakub Wisniewski.
Wisniewski.
there's an accent on the S.
All right. I don't know. So, all right. But at this point, I had got like full on con crud.
Okay.
Like I had a full flu hit me at that moment.
Yeah.
So as me and Ipo were playing the game, I get like uncontrollable amounts of like sniffing and coughing and sneezing and phlegm, and it was so gross. So whoever played that game after us, sorry.
But that went with the that
You
went
just
with the
infected,
experience,
like,
right?
half
Because it went with the
the
experience because
attendees.
you are in
Sarajevo.
Sarajevo.
So it's during the
it's
siege
cold.
of Sarajevo, during the Bosnian War, which was what, 92 to 96, the siege,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah. Or 95 or 96, something like that. Now, this is based on a video game. I love the video game. I've played it, but it's super depressing. And the board is basically an exact representation of what you get in the video game.
And the art is amazing because of that, I guess.
It's super dark, but yes, it's all the art from the video game. So you can see it's super cluttered. So there's a lot of things happening.
Whoa.
Basically, it's pure co-op. The cool thing about the game is you don't need to learn how to play it. You open the
Okay.
rule book, you start reading, and it walks you through the first turn. And by the time you get through the first turn, you've learned all the rules.
Because the layout definitely
Yeah.
looks very intimidating.
It's definitely not a complicated game.
Okay. That's
Vic-
reassuring.
and it's much more experiential than it is strategic.
okay.
It's more about what you do and what you push your luck, and I don't know what.
Nice.
It gave me Dead of Winter feels without the things I don't like about Dead of Winter. So it's not like there's no trader mechanic.
Mhm.
There's no exposure die. You know what I mean? Which is the worst thing for me in Dead of Winter. You roll dice, but what it does is it takes you to this huge book. Like the book's not big, but the text is so little. It's probably
It's
like
huge,
if they
yeah.
made it normal size book, it'd be massive. It's got thousands of stories in it. And basically, based on your dice roll, you go to a different thing and it tells you about
Nice.
it. So the dice roll isn't something like, oh, I rolled a tooth, I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like in Dead of Winter. So it's like a Dead of Winter style game that I'd actually play again.
Very cool.
I think
enjoyed
the quality of the production is unparalleled. It's
I don't know if it's
amazing.
unparalleled.
I
but
mean,
it's,
I can
like
only
Scythe is better production.
what?
My edition of Scythe looks better than this War of Mine.
No,
Way
Kickstarter.
better. Way better.
No. I can
See the
only
pieces?
compare it with League of Legends.
Oh,
What's the game?
Mechs versus Minions.
Yes.
No, wrong. You're only saying that because you got those little gears and you were really happy about the gears. But the only nice components are the gears and the wood pieces.
No, it's amazing.
No, man.
The art is
Did you see
amazing.
The artist is a
resources
rip from the
inside?
website.
Have you seen the
From
weight
the
of this box?
Okay, I don't know about
It was
that.
like
You're just saying that because you bought it. But
3 kilos.
But basically,
Seriously, it's like 3 games.
it's literally a direct port of the video game art.
Yeah, true.
They did
True.
no work on
I
it.
agree.
But in that case, for me, Banner Saga is the best looking board game out there
Could be. Yeah.
because I love the art style of the video game.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about like components, the collector's edition of Scythe with the
all the collectors.
yeah, the one I have with the special resources, the little bags of grain, and the actual metal pieces. The like the metal pieces in this game
Oh,
are made of plastic, right? That one actually had
Okay.
bars of metal. So my point is,
I withdraw that truth.
I withdraw this truth. We got obsessed with this video of the South African because Byron's South African, and he sent us this video of the South African Parliament, and it's like children fighting. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Like every parliament.
This guy's like says something like, "We requested the Honorable Masinga withdraw what he said," and he goes, "I withdraw this truth," and they're like, "He said I withdraw this truth. It's not a truth." And then the other guy's like, "Sorry, I don't speak English so well." And then it's amazing. It's like children because you know that they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Highly recommended video as well.
So I withdraw the unparalleled word. I withdraw.
It's a good game. I definitely played it again.
unparalleled. Okay, it's a very good quality.
Yeah. Why don't you take us to the end? of
And
this,
last
Paul?
but not least,
Last, it's the Escape Tales: The Awakening from Boards and Dice.
Why don't you tell us who the designers are?
Designers
All of
are
them, please.
the guy that made Kanban,
Nope. Vital Lacerda is not one
Jakub
of-
Kaban, Matt Dembek, Bartosz Idzikowski,
Uh-huh.
and the artists are Magdalena Klepasz and Pavel Nizilek.
I feel like you just made those.
nice try. Good job.
Okay, so I
So is it a co-op or is it an escape?
so I went in the booth and there were like 2 guys already have started to listen to the guy that was demoing the game.
Okay.
I said, guys, can I please step in? Can I please join you? And they said, of course, yes, let's do it. So I played with these guys just 1 round of the game, and it's like an escape room. Like it really reminds me of the escape room my wife plays in her mobile phone, and you, Dima, are playing the
Yeah.
same, right? So I said, okay, guys, thank you very much for this experience. I'm buying this game. So I bought the game, and now I'm waiting for Lena to tell me about it, if it's good enough.
So-
If it, this is the only thing I know. I liked very much the art. I like very much the idea behind it. Let's see how it goes.
It looks cool. I'm definitely into it. Now, we bought a bunch of games as well. We've played some of them, but we're not going to talk about those here. Also, as I said, Byron played a bunch of games that we haven't talked about here. I really want him to talk about Lincoln and Princess Jing, which is gorgeous, which I think he should talk about. So I'm going
Yeah.
to skip that.
True.
Now, some of the games we bought and some of them that we've also played, we'll keep those for the next few episodes because we played them outside of Essen. Personally, I also bought PAX Emancipation from Sierra Madre Games. As everyone who's listened to this podcast knows, I'm a huge fan of the PAX games. I bought 18 Lilliput, which is like a simple 18XX designed by the guy who did Russian Railroads. So that's a good pedigree. He's also obviously a real 18XX designer. He did 18CZ and a few others.
Is it only 2-player?
No. It's like 5 players or something,
Oh.
2 to 5. Treasure Island, which we played last week. I bought that sight unseen, but it's so beautiful. It has a giant caliper that you can use with a marker at the end of it. I mean, I could not buy it, right? And I bought the expansion, the last expansion from Tashkalar, which is the Etherweave faction.
When did you do that? I
Nice.
didn't see that.
Well, everyone was playing Trapwords.
And I got the crypto that Elias also bought for me. Thank you very much.
I have a problem.
Which is a game, as we said, like it's a taboo genre of game. It's like Trapwords or Spyfall. I bought also a Soviet Kitchen.
It's
Who-
a beautiful game.
Yeah, exactly. I love the art. Okay, it's a game about mixing colors, and it uses
Mhm.
an app to tell you what kind of color you.
Oh
You come
yeah,
up with-
that one.
And finally, to play with the kids, I bought Kitchen Rush from Stronghold Games,
Which they love.
which is
apparently.
yes, they do, they really do. It's a co-op where you are running a restaurant's kitchen, and the workers are really hourglasses. It's so amazing, the idea.
It sounds great. I can't wait
Nice.
to try it. But guys, we're gonna have to bring this episode to a close because Dima's sleeping disease has kicked in and she is literally falling asleep at the microphone. So that brings us to the end of this tabletop session supplement. Thank you for listening. Please check out our very active Instagram at Tabletop Sessions. Ipo, where's our Instagram?
Our Instagram is at Tabletop Sessions.
Amazing. You can reach us through Twitter at TT Sessions QA, or I'm not going to ask you, Dima, because you're fast asleep, or at our subreddit at reddit.com/r/tabletop sessions. You can join the conversation over at our Board Game Geek Guild, and you can find the link to all of these in the episode description. Well, you've heard a lot from us, and we hope you've got your fill to fill you for at least the next 3 weeks. Say bye, guys.
Good night.
Choose tabletop, 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 top, tabletop, top, tabletop, 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 top, tabletop, 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 top, tabletop, 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 top, tabletop, 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 top. Session.
Sleeping disease. You can go to bed. We'll just finish up here.
I'm so sleepy. That Red Bull